I'm going to be honest, I've been on the fence as to whether I should make this video. It feels a little early. I know a lot of creators, when they hit certain milestones with their channel, they'll make a video about how YouTube has changed their life. I think for me, that's not the right video to make. I would much rather explore this idea of, is YouTube changing my life? And while I think 4 weeks on the platform is too early to know whether there's a long-term sustained material impact, I think what I can speak to is some of the more everyday changes that I've experienced. Maybe just talk about what the first month is like. In my last video, I talked about the lessons that I learned, and these are more like skill-based or YouTube-oriented, but the ways in which I think I'm changing as a person, I have some insights that I want to convey to you guys today. And hopefully this is helpful for anyone who's brand new, who's just starting themselves, who maybe just wants to see what other creators are up to and how they're getting along. So let's just jump in. As you know from my previous videos, I've been on the platform for 4 weeks. I have 8 videos posted. The niche that I'm exploring is how to grow on YouTube, and specifically for people who want to start but haven't had the courage to do so. Like, I'm trying to simplify it for them and also provide some encouragement and inspiration and things along those lines. I'm definitely not an expert by any stretch, but I will say in the few short weeks I've been on the platform, there's some things that I feel like I'm taking away. The first thing I would say is this mission and purpose that I'm starting to feel. And prior to being on YouTube, I think a lot of the ways I felt maybe driven was either through my normal 9-to-5, through personal acquaintances, through hobbies and activities, but I really haven't had much in the way of purpose or drive lately. I feel like I haven't had that for a very long time. I would find that here and there with online games that I would be playing. Now with YouTube, I'm feeling like I actually have something to look forward to, something to work on, something to progress, something to explore, something novel, and a whole world of skill and community and, I don't know, potential monetization to explore, potential business to explore. That's what's getting me out of bed in the morning these days. It's been a while since I've had something to get me out of the bed in the morning. And I think about people who just dread getting out of bed. They don't have anything to look forward to throughout the day. They don't really want to start their day. And that's been me for a long time. But now I actually have something I'm excited to wake up for. And it sounds really lame, but it's everything to have something to look forward to. So if you're out there and you're feeling a sense of dread in the morning and you don't have much to get out of bed for, YouTube's a great place to put your attention if you can do it in a healthy way. And I'll talk about why maybe I'm not doing it in the most healthy way, but if you can do it in a healthy way and you can see it as this whole new world that you get to explore, it can be very motivating and very inspiring, and it can help brighten your day and give you things and people and experiences to explore and to have. So that's one big benefit. And I gotta say, I love this idea of progress tracking, and if anything, the YouTube Studio does a brilliant job of showing you your progress. I mean, it's super granular, and for a nerd like me who's used to playing a lot of online games, who loves this idea of character progression and leveling up and hitting new milestones and thresholds, you can't ask for a better platform to experience that kind of progression with than a YouTube Studio. And that's kind of what keeps me motivated to okay, now I got to get X amount of views this week. I got to get X amount of subscribers this week. And it sounds superficial, but it's a game. It's like gamifying your experiences. I'm sharing you my experiences of being on YouTube, and I have all these game mechanics, all these different game loops that I'm now a part of because I'm uploading videos and they're getting views and watch time and engagement. So I love that whole idea behind mission and purpose. The second thing I would talk about is habits and discipline. And if you've seen my first video, I talked about James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. I'll tell you what, the beginning of July, right as I was starting to read this book, before I even posted my first videos, I was trying to get serious about YouTube, and I was trying to figure out, what do I need to do throughout my day to get my shit together, to be more productive, to learn more, to be more efficient. And after getting part of the way through James Clear's book, I was like, I need to start waking up really early and getting stuff done in the morning. So ever since July 1st, I've been waking up at 5 a.m., been going for a 1-hour walk. I've been listening to podcasts or an audiobook during the walk. walk, and then I come home, I journal a little bit, and then I vlog. I vlog for like 2 to 3 minutes on my phone every morning. I just talk to the camera to get some of those repetitions in, to get some of that comfort. And I've been doing this for about a month and a half now, and I feel like it's done a lot to help build like routine and consistency, and to help give me some confidence to know that I'm like doing things that are along the right track to have a successful YouTube channel. Because I think if I wasn't doing these things and I wasn't learning and like getting some exercise, which is good for your mental health, and like being productive in the morning, I would feel like my days are always off to a slower start than they should be. And then by the time it gets to the afternoon and I like need to script or record or design, I would probably not feel as good about myself to get those things done. But by the afternoon, I feel really good and accomplished. So I feel like I can take on additional things and get my YouTube stuff done in the afternoon after work. So it's just given me that sense of accomplishment, that sense of pride, and that sense of consistency. So one thing I'll say for those of you out there who like maybe want to develop better habits is get a habit tracker. And again, this may not vibe with your personality, but for me, because I'm a very, I guess I could be a rigorous person, get a habit tracker. Because if you write down on your habit tracker just 1 or 2 things that you really want to start doing every single day, and you keep that habit tracker with a pen handy near your bed or wherever you work, it'll remind you every single day, like you have to do these 2 things, or these 3 things, or whatever it is. And every day you check it off when you do it, you check it off when you do it. And over time, you'll start to see all these little X's and check marks on your habits, and you'll get into this rhythm where you have all this momentum, and you really won't want to miss a day because you won't want to have a blank spot. For me, that really resonates with me, and I'm learning that about myself as I'm doing this YouTube thing. It's one of the things I feel like I'm learning and potentially changing over time. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt, because we have to see if this persists over a long period of time. But in the short term, it's definitely helping me to be more consistent. Here's something actionable you can do if you are serious about wanting to develop better habits. Set your alarm for 30 minutes before you would normally wake up. Find a 30-minute walk you can do in your neighborhood and listen to James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. You can get it on Spotify or Audible or wherever. Get the audio version, put them on your headphones, walk around your neighborhood. You'll feel better waking up early. You'll feel better that you got some exercise. You will feel better that you're learning something. And then what you're learning will then reinforce this positive habit you're creating about waking up and walking and listening. For me, that translated into, like I said, a month and a half of activity and learning and all this goodness. So anyways, that's enough about that. But I think habits and discipline are important because YouTube requires a lot of consistency. So it's a whole nother thing that I'm working on in tandem with the YouTube channel. Now, the other thing is, let's talk about embracing the discomfort zone. And filming twice a week for me is a lot of proximity to discomfort, because I'm doing this week in, week out, at least for the last 5 weeks now, where I'm putting myself in front of the camera, I'm having to talk, I'm getting upset about how I can't communicate what I really want to. I have a hard time getting my thoughts out. To constantly do retakes and reshoots, and it's frustrating, and I'm it's uncomfortable. I think we can all relate to that. So that's building resilience. It's building character. It's helping me understand my limits. It's testing my patience. It's helping me deal with frustration. It's helping me hopefully potentially turn this frustration into humor. I know the first few weeks when I was filming, I would get so angry that I couldn't say what I wanted to say. And now the last week, I remember making so many mistakes, and I just started laughing at myself. I was having a much better time. Granted, I still didn't like it, but it was a much better version of frustration. I was kind of giddy and laughing. And then when it comes time to reshoot, you're already smiling. So it comes off like you're actually having fun with your video, which I really desperately want to be able to do. That's been a bit of a transition, but I know this frustration with filming, a lot of creators have it, even seasoned creators, so I don't know that it's going to go away, but I'm hopefully learning how to temper myself with those frustrations. All of this leads to, I think, self-discovery, learning about yourself, understanding your limitations, what you're capable of, and helping to overcome self-doubt as well, which is obviously still very prevalent. It's still something I think about all the time. I don't really have, I feel like even in this moment, I have no business talking to my camera and uploading this video to YouTube. Who the hell should listen to me? And really nobody should. I haven't earned any social credit or I haven't proven myself in any meaningful way. But I keep reminding myself to just push past that and remind myself that these first 20, 30 videos is experimentation and me practicing. Right now I'm practicing in a new scene. I'm up on my roof. It rained a half hour ago, so it's cold up here. Not ideal. I'm just, screw it, I need to practice these different ways of filming. I got a new mic I'm practicing using. Anyway, all of that as it relates to self-doubt is you just have to remind yourself this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You have to just put in the reps, be okay with failure, and be okay with boredom. And I think that comes back to this discomfort idea, and this idea of resilience is that you're going to try and fail a lot, and you have to be able to deal with that. You have to build toughness and to have a thick skin and be ready for the hurtful comments. And how do you respond to those? Defensively? Do you just shrug them off? Do you thank people? I think that's a whole nother topic, but it all factors into your psyche when you're evaluating whether you should be doing what you're doing. And then finally, like, overcoming the fear to start, discomfort there. It's a real thing. And I'm glad I finally got that first step taken care of. But now I'm on this steep upward climb to try to hit the goals that I'm trying for, and to try and feel like I'm finding my YouTube voice, which I don't think I found at all. I'm trying to figure out how I should come off natural on camera. And that's a struggle. And again, it's all part of this idea of resilience and discomfort. If there's folks out there who are struggling like I am, the only way to become more resilient, to be able to do the hard things, is to put yourself in situations that are uncomfortable. So you have to like almost proactively look for discomfort. I mean, it's hard to do, right? Like you don't never want to be intentionally uncomfortable, but you almost have to do it. And that's part of the reason why I've been vlogging in the morning, is because it's not super comfortable for me. So the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And then when it comes time to film these videos, maybe it's not so bad. Put yourself in those situations on purpose. Try to film yourself as often as you can, even if you never show it to anybody, or if you never watch it yourself again, that's fine. And ask for honest feedback when you do post your videos. Share it with friends and family. Ask for honest feedback of people that you trust. Be prepared for constructive criticism that you don't like. Remind yourself that feedback is a gift. Be thankful for it and encourage it. Encourage dissent. I think that's important. Also, comment on other people's videos too, because you may end up finding, I'll talk about networking here in a second, but you may end up finding people with whom you can collaborate with, or who will follow you because you said something that was a hit home for them in someone else in a comment. And do it in spite of the fact that you might be shy to comment. For a while, I was like, I'm never going to comment on videos. Like, I didn't want my name associated with people's videos. But that's YouTube. It's a social network, and that's part of the fun and the enjoyment is like reaching out and learning and talking to other people. So there's this other element of community and networking, which I've talked about before, and I know I'm, again, 4 weeks in, so it's the very early stages for me, but I think there is a lot of upside with meeting people and networking and finding your own community that supports you, but also finding like a different community of other creators who are also trying to excel on YouTube and do difficult things. At the end of the day, people need people. Doing this in a silo by yourself is extremely difficult. When you don't have someone to lean on when you're feeling bad, when you have self-doubt, you have no one to talk to about it, when you need feedback, if there's no one to give it to you, you're really just flying blind. And so it's really important to find people that you vibe with personally, that you can, get along with. And I don't know whether that's part of like a small group on Discord or Facebook or wherever, but it's good to have that network of people that can cheer you on and that you can cheer on. I don't think I have that quite yet, not to the extent that I would like. I think in a perfect world, I might find one or two other people who are doing something similar and they want to talk shop and get on a call every other week, and we share things that are going on with our channels and we give each other tips and feedback. Like, that would be amazing to have. I don't have that right now. I have bigger communities of people that are doing a disparate range of things. So I feel like there's a lot of upside with community. And then of course networking and the people you get exposed to, like even people in the comments, I'll often click on their channels to see what they're all about. And I'm finding that there's a lot of people in the comments commenting on my videos that I would never actually meet. Like, I would never meet people from their walk of life. And there's people overseas, not in the US, people from different parts of the country that I've never been to, people with different upbringings. They're in different stages of their life. They've had different life experiences and different traumas and different interests and passions that motivate them, that I don't really understand very well, but they're there nonetheless, and they're all looking for something. So I think it's important to always dig into the community and learn about people that are commenting on your videos. And then when you comment on other people's videos, do it in a way that's open and inviting and encouraging of conversation. And I think for people who are struggling with community like I am, you kind of have to be proactive and be vulnerable and put yourself out there and take risks and send private messages, email people directly if their email is available in YouTube, and try to establish connections and try to be proactive in promoting a way to stay connected, because YouTube comments are transient, right? They come in, you comment, you get a reply, a like, and then you may never you may never interact with that person again. So that's what I'm trying to do, is find people who are doing something similar to me. And then the last way I would say YouTube is potentially changing my life is this flexing this creativity muscle and building technical skills. And I talked about the skills in my previous video, but like I've never really had to be creative in my life. My job never really required it of me. A little bit of like creative thinking here and there, but never pen to paper designing something. I've always liked writing for the most part, but it's a different kind of creativity. It's not visual. It's you're not designing something graphically. So I love this idea of doing something completely different. Like I'm in my mid-40s and I'm trying to do something creative for the first time in my life, and it's a struggle. Like I don't know anything about thumbnail design. I'm just kind of trying to copy what other people are doing. I don't have a creative eye, but I think maybe over time I can develop that. I'm actually able to bring some of what I'm learning from YouTube into my 9-to-5. I've been able to create and edit a video for my day job, and I would never have been able to do that had I not tried YouTube. And I think there's a lot of transferable skills. And I feel like other ways that maybe YouTube is affecting my day job is I don't know how or why, but I think I'm just being more direct with people at work. I'm not babysitting as much, and I'm just trying to get into the point a lot more. And I don't know if that's as a result of me trying to get to the point in my YouTube videos, which I think I do a terrible job of. Thumbs up if you agree with that statement. And then I think the last thing I'll say, working on my communication and being more self-aware of how I talk. And it's painfully obvious when I edit my videos how much I have to edit out ums and ahs. And I use the phrase "and so" a lot. I use the word "so" a lot. I'm sure you've heard it 1,000 times in this video already, and I'm completely unaware of it. I'm really trying to get better at that because it's such a pain in the butt to hear myself use these filler words that kind of kill your credibility and make you sound less confident in what you're trying to convey. So let's talk about the negatives, because it's not all rosy over here. I have a bit of an obsessive personality, and if I find a new hobby or interest, if I latch onto it, I tend to overdo it. And I think early on I overdid it with the habits, and then I pulled it back, and I feel as though I might be overdoing it a little bit with YouTube. Like, I think 2 videos a week is a good, consistent quantity of videos to be posting. But if you don't have the time for it, then it's not. And you should really just do what you have the time for. But I'm like hell bent on growing, and I want to grow at a quicker pace than 1 video per week. The downside is I'm neglecting literally everything else. My personal life has been erased by YouTube, and I've chosen that. And that's kind of a sad state of affairs, but it's also, there's 2 sides to that argument. Like I'm super determined, right? So maybe that's a good thing, but at the same time, everything else is getting put by the wayside. And I'm noticing rifts in my social life and in my relationship, and it's not the best. It is a moment of sacrifice, and I'm here for it, but I also feel terrible and guilty about neglecting a lot of other things. I think the other thing too is I'm spending too much time focused on outcomes and not as much on processes. So going back to the James Clear book, for those of you who read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The YouTube analytics, again, you can just let that thing rule your world if you want to. Like you can just check it constantly throughout the day to see if you got that new subscriber and more views or whatever. But I should really be focusing all of that time on more scripting and more video ideas and just getting better on camera and doing the things that actually contribute to the channel growing and not just wishing it would grow. So that's a trap you can fall into, and I certainly encourage you, don't do what I do. Don't spend that much time in the dashboard. Repurpose that time for more meaningful activities. And then I think we'll wrap with how I hope YouTube changes me. If I'm thinking forward a year or 2, what are some of the ways I hope to become a better person? What is the promise of YouTube based on what I'm seeing in other people, other creators? I hope that I can prove to myself that I can actually stick with something for a long period of time, and that I'm not just in this mode where I'm really motivated right now and it's going to fall off a cliff in 2 months. I hope I can stay consistent, focused, and determined, and I hope I can do this over a couple-year period and find fulfillment and enjoyment in the slow progress. I really want to be able to prove to myself that that's part of who I am. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I want to become more confident and speak more confidently and be able to speak in a less scripted atmosphere where I'm just going with it and getting my thoughts out and hoping it connects with people. I really hope I can enjoy myself more on camera too, because I feel rather stiff a lot of the time. Like right now, I'm like sitting in this chair, super tense. I don't know how to have fun when the camera is on. I freeze up. I don't know how to smile. I don't know how to crack a joke. I'm not quick on my feet. I'm not witty. I'm not like that at all, even when the camera's off. But like when the camera's on, forget it. It's like someone put a bag over my head and I have no ability to respond to what's happening around me. So I really hope that this exercise of talking to the camera helps bring a little bit more of that out. And then finally, going back to community, I really hope to find other like-minded people who are doing YouTube, who want to talk shop, who want to collab and, you know, make an impact and make a difference and help other people and just do something different and bold and risky with their lives. That's what I'm hopeful for on YouTube. Maybe some of you can relate to that. Maybe that's what you're thinking about as well. I will say I know there's a lot of people on YouTube who call themselves introverts, and when you watch them on camera, you're like, there's no way they're an introvert. But it's probably true. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who prefer to be alone, who don't talk to a lot of people throughout the day, who are content with their thoughts, and they've had to work up to it. They've had to work up to this way of being on camera that maybe is their natural, authentic self that they're just too afraid to do with real people. Maybe it's a safe space for them to do it on camera. Either way, I hope that I can find my safe space on camera, and I hope that that translates into me finding my safe space in everyday life. At work, walking down the street, going to a restaurant or a bar, being with myself on the couch, with my partner, with my friends, with my family. Maybe that's too much to ask of YouTube. I mean, these are all things that have to come from within me. I understand that, but hopefully having this experience, going through this discomfort can bring that part out of me. So that's what I'm hopeful for. So that's it for today. Thank you for dealing with this very long video and hearing me out if you stayed this far. If you're still with me and you still need help and you want to start a channel and you want to post videos but you haven't done it yet, hit me up, send me an email. You can find my email address in my channel in the connect or contact us section or whatever, or leave me a comment and let me know. If you're interested in communicating through YouTube, through email, I'm happy to help maybe be that kick in the ass for you to get your channel started. So that's it for now. Talk to you guys later.